Hello and welcome to this hands-on lesson. Actually, this is the second part of the microfocus ArcSight Smart Connector installation lesson. So here we come to the selection of the type of the destination. So we have multiple options. Starting from bottom to up, we have raw syslogs. So the Smart Connector just receive the logs and then send them as a raw syslog. One may ask why this is useful. Actually, you can add multiple destinations through this wizard. So you may select one of those as well as the OSIS log. And this is useful if you have architecture where you want the smart connector to collect and then forward to your ESM or logger, and in the same time forward to another third-party tool which needs the raw syslog as it is without any manipulation by the ArcSight Smart Connector. So this is a useful option, and sometimes it's used, as I said, with third-party solutions. CSV file, if you just need to make the collection and normalization and then save locally to a CSV file or to a remote for FTP server, for example. CEF encrypted syslog, if you want to send the logs in the common event format for ArcSight in encrypted syslog UDP format, so over encrypted channel or clear channel, or to the event broker. Event broker is a new concept introduced by Microfocus recently, and this is based on Apache Kafka technology, which is an open standard. So Microfocus trying to make the ArcSight platform interoperable with other solutions. So any solution can be plugged into the ArcSight ecosystem and consume the logs, the normalized logs from this event broker or from this event hub. So the ArcSight ecosystem is now interoperable with other solutions. So you are not just getting benefit of the normalization for ArcSight, but for other solutions and products as well. So this is how all vendors are going in that direction to have their products open to other solutions. This is how the technology is going now. Every technology is collaborate with another technology, and integrations should be there. And this is one of the powerful features of the event broker. And another thing, if you think about it deeply, the smart connectors, as I said, it's a Java virtual machine with limited resources. So if you have multiple destinations, even if it's not just even if it's not the interoperability issue or that you want to forward to non-ArcSight component that don't understand ArcSight, so you should use open standard technology like Kafka. Even for the ArcSight components, if you are forwarding to multiple ESMs and loggers, more than two, let's put that threshold. If you are forwarding or sending the logs to one destination or two, then the smart connector is okay. You can make dual feed from one smart connector, no problem. The JVM, the Java virtual machine of the smart connector, is capable for sending the logs to one or two destinations simultaneously. But when you send to three or more, then performance hits can happen on the smart connector Java virtual machine, and you'll face problems like latency or performance and a lot of caching and maybe logs getting dropped. So this is another powerful feature of the event broker. It's acting here as a hub or a relay. So the smart connector will just subscribe to the event hub and just ingest all the logs into the event hub, the event broker, and then all the destinations 4, 5, 6, whatever the number, can subscribe also to this event hub and consume the logs from this event hub to their destinations to process them on their own. So the event broker is booming, and it's very new and very booming technology that now the smart connectors can deal with. And when we come to the ESM installation, you will see that the ESM is Kafka compliant and can deal with event broker. So we will see in the installation result that it asks you if you want to consume logs from a broker to the ESM. CIF file means that you can export the normalized logs as in SF file, and the three options: one for the manager, the ArcSight ESM, and one for the logger. Actually, two for the loggers. The smart message is a receiver or a listener on the logger called smart message. This is the encrypted receiver on the logger. Okay, and it can be smart message pool, so you can bear one logger, two loggers, and we already spoken about this, that you can bear up to 40 loggers, maybe more. So you can let the smart connector send to this pool, and this is one of the powerful features here, that the logs are getting distributed among this pool of loggers and adds a layer of high availability. So if one logger is down, the others can take over. So for our video here lesson, we will select the ArcSight manager and press next, and then we'll come to the screen where we enter the destination details, the ESM details, and username and password. So here we need to create an account. It's called a console a connector installer account. So we can add these credentials here. So I'll switch to the ESM console, and I will go to, so as you can see, since we took already the ArcSight console overview in the previous lesson, now we will start to practice resource by resource throughout our journey in this bootcamp. So we will learn by hands-on. So users is one of the first resources that we learn about. It's from the name. We need to create a user to deal with the console. So there are different types of users. The highest privileged users are under this group, administrators, and the less privileged users are coming under the other folders. And you can get to know the different privileges from this. If you right click on a specific folder and select edit access control, you will get to know. I will close the middle, the viewer, to see the inspect edit in more wider screen. I'll close this as well. I can close this as well, just to avoid confusion. So here, edit access control list, I'll close it again so you know exactly what I did. I just go here and click edit. Where is it? Yes, edit access control, it comes here. So you can see the resource. You can see here, it's open twice. Okay, no problem. So I'll close one. So here, access link, access control list. Access control list editor for all users resource. See the syntax of defining a resource. It's like Linux / or Windows, yani path / all users. Here users, this users resource / all users, and then / administrator. So they are not mentioning the word shared. It's implicitly understood that we are in the shared when we make this kind of pass. So / all users / administrators, we are here. Okay, what is this resource all about? This resource actually contains multiple uh, privileges for every sub resource, let's say. So we have active channel, active list. So you select for example active channel. What kind of privilege for the active channel? For the category model, for whatever, you add the resource, and here you set the privilege. So all active channel, here it's read and write. You have full read and write. For all active list, you have full read. So as an administrator, for all the resources here, you have full privilege read and write. See, read and write is all ticked out. So this is the resources, the read-write operation on these resources, the permissions, what you can do, and what is the user groups. This belongs to administrators. And what events, all events, you are allowed to hold events, and so on. If you go to this one, custom user groups, and press again edit access control, you will find very less permissions. So no resource, no active channel resource for this, guys. No active lists, no nothing. يعني operations, nothing. User groups, nothing. So you have to define this. You have to define this. Okay. And then if you go to the see here, no events. So this SOC analyst, if we one, for example, if I logged out and logged in as SOC analyst one, I will not see, I will not be able to see anything like or at least lower less resources than or privileges than the admin. Anyway, I have created here an account called console. We can create a new one, no problem. So right click new user. I close others. So we have a new user. So here the user type is very important. This is very important because the ArcSight license can count for the number of users, and your license may be restricted to a certain limit or amount, certain number of console users. You may be eligible only for like one console user or 5 console users. So to avoid misuse this license by creating a wrong type user for integration, just select connector installer type. Don't select normal user. Normal user means a console user, a user that can deal with the console and make whatever operation for the console. But a connector installer user means this user is only for the integration or for the smart connector to register with the console. So always select connector installer for connector installation or registration. So I'll name it connector installer, and the password, I will put the password complex, for example. They should match, and then apply. Now I'm good. I have the connector installer. I will return back to the installation user. Connector installer. So, a little bit slow, and the password will be password complex, and here I put the hostname. The manager hostname should match exactly the name on the ESM to avoid a certificate issue. So the ESM console is called ESM7, and I'm not sure if it's bingable or not, so let's test bing ESM7. It's not resolvable, so we have to go to the C Windows system32. Of course, in operation, this you will have DNS record for this, but for the purpose of this lab, I will just add it to my hosts file. It's in drivers, etc. Yes, hosts will open as like WordLab or anything. Okay. Then I'll go here and add one. So here we add in the hosts file, we add the IP for the ESM and the host name ESM7. We can verify this by pinging ESM7. Now it's pingable. So now we can return to the SmartConnector wizard, installation wizard. So we are good now. We have the host name. This is the port the ArcSight Manager is listening on, the connector installation account, and we are ready to go. I'll press next. Now we get to the connector details. So we name it syslog connector. The location is the in the tree, the folder tree on the navigator. So leave it empty, or we can just for the sake of organizing our work, if you go to the connectors resource, here we can make a folder, new group, and we can name this syslog connectors example, and return back. So I'll name this syslog connectors. And here, like syslog connector 1, press next. It's now configuring the connector, registering destination, and here it will import the certificate. This is the certificate information. Next, importing certificate, registering destination, and restarting the container. A container is a concept for the JVM or the Java virtual machine. This is a container for this smart connector. So for the software connectors, one container per smart connector. But in the ArcSight Management Center, the concept of container, you can have a container that contains multiple smart connectors. So just a concept that you will not come across too often, but let's think for it like that. We got this error. Please verify your credentials and try again. Maybe I put the password incorrectly. Go back. What was the password? It was password complex, if I remember correctly. Password complex. Okay, let's try again. Next. Again, the authentication failed. Let's go back to the console to see what happened to this user. Maybe it's disabled or connector installer. No, it's not disabled, because if it's disabled, it will be linked. So maybe we need to reset the password. Let's do that. Just here editing the user. Okay, so I will give it a different password. Apply. Okay, I'll return back to my machine. The username is correct. Connector installer. The user ID connector installer, right? Yes. Okay. So returning back here, connector installer, and the new password. Let's give it another try. Okay. Okay, let me use another account. Okay, I got the problem. The username is the first letter is capital letter, so it's case sensitive. That's why. And here I always write it small. Okay, connector installer. So now it should work. See, it's registering again. So it's good that we come across this error. So it is case sensitive. So take care of this guy. I type here connector C capital and I capital while I was trying with C small. That's why we get this errors too frequent. And I noticed this in the second time. Maybe you may notice this in the third or fourth trial, and the account get disabled. So in that case, you come here and edit the user, and you will find this login enabled unticked like this. In that case, you need to enable it. So I will just cancel and get back to screen. Now everything is good. And the final screen is install as a service or leave as standalone. Leave as a standalone means that whenever you boot this machine, the service will not come up. There is no service actually, so it will not start working on its own. You have to run it manually. And this may be useful in very odd scenarios, like you have a warm standby connector and you want to not warm, it's often even cold. You just open it or start it whenever you want, like a DR is announced or whatever. But install as a service is typically used in operation or in production. So make it install as a service and try to give the service internal name always different names. So keep naming convention to avoid conflicting names. So since we found a service before, syslog connector, yes, it's removed, but just to follow the convention, I'll make this syslog 2 and syslog daemon 2. Okay, then next. So if you are lucky, you'll get this screen, no problems. This is summary, and then continue if you want to run this over again, the wizard, the whole wizard, or exit to finish. If you are good, you'll get the done, and when you go to the services, you'll see it. I will refresh. You'll see your ArcSight syslog daemon and stop, so you have to start it. Before it starts, if you go here in this folder, oops, it came here actually, it didn't came here. Okay, so it's down. If when the service is up, this will turn to running. So let's watch this together. It will turn into running. Yeah, see, it's running now. So if you turn here, now it's running. So as soon as it starts up correctly here, the ESM will see it as running. Actually, when we selected the location, the SmartConnector instructed the ESM to create a folder called syslog connectors under the main tree all connectors. So this site connectors is not recognized by the location that we put. So anyway, we can change all of this. We can just drag this and drop it here if you want, and press move and just delete this empty folder. So it's get in the location you want. You can drag it here, whatever you want to do. So finally we did the integration. So that's it for the this lesson, and we completed now the hands-on on the ArcSight console and the installation of SmartConnector and registration SmartConnector with the ESM. From the next lesson forward until we end up the whole chapter, second chapter, which relies on the ESM 101 document, we will come across a lot of hands-on on the ESM console to comprehend the concept, and it will be a concept by concept, not a use case or a complete lab, but just to comprehend the individual concepts, each concept alone. And after we finish all the concepts in the next chapters, we try to make labs or try to make a complete use cases to put the pieces together and have a complete picture about and get more intuition and confidence in working with the solution as a whole. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next